Welcome back to World War Live, everybody. I'm your host, Conrad Franz, here on a wonderful Tuesday evening, February 10th, 2026. Hope everybody's having a good and white-pilled evening. I know I am. And we're going to talk about some big and fantastic news. Doesn't look like we have that many people on the stream, but it's good to see Stephen Sterling, See No Evil, Chris Darian, a few people in the chat. We've got people live on Substack as well. Having some problems connecting with the Twitter account, so I'm going to need to share some of that. But wherever you are listening, please let me know what's up in the chat. And if you want to have any questions answered, be sure to send in a super chat on YouTube, or if you want to support us on the Buy Me a Coffee, I guess if you attach a note to that, all of this is linked down in the description below, or somewhere wherever you happen to be watching this. But if you donate to the Buy Me a Coffee, I guess if you attach a note to it, I can read whatever question you ask. So thank you all so much for tuning in. But I think you all know what the white pilling news is. That is right. Friend of the show, Father Peter hears. I might even wait till more people are on, because I see people are filtering in slowly but surely. But maybe I'll get the shilling out of the way while nobody is on the stream. But it is a white-pilled stream. I know that we will be discussing some stuff probably the first 10-15 minutes that isn't about the title, but unfortunately the white pill has nothing to do with geopolitics, because it does appear that World War III is, despite everybody's efforts, the Americans, the Muslim world, Iran themselves, despite everyone's efforts for peace, the Israelis, the Jews have decided that there is no rest for the Goyim, and the Goyim will be taken for another ride, another repeat of the beginning of the last century. So unfortunately, here we are. But it's good to see everybody. Of course, Jonathan Kelly right out the gates with $10. All these live streams are eating into the cigar budget. I don't know, bro. Maybe you have to make a decision. I mean, cigars, they're not the worst for you as far as certain things go. And we know tobacco is based, but as a non-smoker myself, in that regard, at least a cigar smoker, we should we got to be balanced with our budget. But I get it, man. Obviously, if you're ever in Texas, bring your cigars. We will smoke some cigars at my parish has a cigar event regularly. So, no disdain for the cigar heads here. But thank you, Jonathan, for the $10. Always great to see you in the chat. Again, it's good to Thomas Maccabee again. Ewar mapping. Great to see everybody here in the YouTube chat, which I can actually see here on the StreamYard. But before I lock in and get into it, I want to tell everybody, be sure to check out the Buy Me a Coffee, worldwarnow.com/buy me a coffee. You can support us financially with however much money you want. But if you haven't, before you do that, if you haven't supported us at all already, be sure that you get behind the paywall at worldwarnow.co. And I want to make sure everybody is aware of our recent Ether Hour episode with Matthew Raphael Johnson, the Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson, the Orthodox nationalist himself. Somebody whose show I listen to very regularly. One of the few podcasts I can say every episode is pretty much going to be a banger in some capacity. So be sure to check that episode out and support him. He has a new book out, and of course his podcast, you can find it on Radio Albi, and he has a Patreon that you can support. So be sure to check this out. We're probably going to have a lot more conversations with Dr. Johnson in the future. So let us know in the comments how much you like this, and maybe let us know in the comments what you want to see us talk about with Dr. Johnson next. Even send a super chat in this stream if you want to hear us discuss a specific topic with MRJ, because he is very much a guest in the vein of in the mold of World War Now and what we talk about here. He is very much a scholar, someone that we would like to follow and keep up with. And we cite a lot of his information on our programs. So be sure to check it out, worldwarnow.co. And it's in the description. Very easy to type in on your browser. Get the Substack app. I want to remind people of that. If you haven't already gotten the Substack app, that's probably the best way to listen to the show, especially if you're a premium subscriber, listening to all the Ether Hour episodes. So do that if you haven't already. And for everybody here, be sure to like the stream, like the Substack episodes, wherever you are listening to this stream or elsewhere. Even other episodes, be sure to like, whether you're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Substack itself, X. Be sure to hit the like and share. It helps us out immensely and more than you know. So thank you again all so much. The Buy Me a Coffee is also available. And you can, of course, follow us on the relevant platforms at World War Now _ on X. But we have $5 more from Jonathan Kelly. Do not see the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description. It must not be in the YouTube description right now. I'll have to add that. But I can drop it in the live chat post haste. So if anyone wants to go to the Buy Me a Coffee, check it out. Link is in the live chat right now. I will be sure to update the YouTube description so that it has it there. But thank you, Jonathan. Real World War Now Patriots are always looking out. But it's time we discuss the white pilling news. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. I think everyone who really cares is probably already aware, but for anyone who isn't already, here we go. Boom, boom. Archpriest Peter Hears, Father Peter Hears, beloved priest, guest of the show, someone who's taken me on pilgrimage to Mount Athos and Cyprus. I've been to his Eighth Ecumenical Council conference. We've become good friends at this point. I'm good friends with his family. So this is extremely white pilling. I'm very happy to see this. And for anybody, I don't know if anybody maybe isn't aware of who Father Peter Hears is, but he is a Orthodox priest, an archpriest who of course, converted to Orthodoxy from Protestantism, like many of us in America. He is a quarter Greek himself. I'd be remiss not to say that. Very proud of his Greek heritage, and he, for many years, was a priest in the Greek Orthodox Church in Greece itself, in the village of Petrokersa. He lived there with his family for 11 years and was the village priest. He has a Athonite spiritual father. He's a very pious, traditional priest who wants to bring the Athonite Orthodox ethos to America and to the West, who have lost so much of that spirit. And unfortunately, for many years, he's been caught up in an ecclesiastical kerfuffle that has led, for no fault of his own, to him being having no bishop, or perhaps having too many bishops, depending on who you ask. But I'll just read this right here without no reason for me to add my own commentary. It says, on the eve of the feast of the three holy hierarchs, His Eminence Metropolitan Nikolai of the Romanian Archdiocese of the United States, after consultations with the members of the Eparchial Council, approved the reception of the Archpriest Peter Hears into the Archdiocese. In the official communique of the Archdiocese, the Very Reverend Father Stefan Dragoi, Secretary of the Archdiocesan Council, wrote, on behalf of His Eminence, the members of the Eparchial Council, as well as the brother clergy, would like to welcome you, Father Peter, into the Archdiocese. We pray that our good and loving Lord, through the intercessions of His most holy Mother, will grant you every success as you endeavor to preach the gospel of salvation and serve the faithful entrusted to your care. And then it goes on. Obviously, here's Father Peter. For any of you that don't know what he looks like, there he is. He goes on and says, born in Dallas, Texas, so Father Peter, a fellow Texan, and having been a frequent visitor of friends, clergymen, and monastics over the years, Father Peter returns now in an official capacity as a missionary priest. Upon reception, Metropolitan Nikolai has also approved Archpriest Peter's canonical assignment to the Holy Protection of the Mother of God's Orthodox Christian Church in Houston, Texas, where he will serve as an assistant priest alongside Father Julian Anite and explore missionary opportunities in Central Texas. Readers will likely be familiar with the unhappy ecclesiastical anomaly which had been created and perpetuated for some time, not to the benefit of the mission of the church. With this decision of His Eminence Nikolai, the proper ecclesiastical order has been restored. So axios and thank you to His Eminence Bishop Nikolai. Can't tell us. Yes, Bishop Nikolai is here. Obviously, here's Father Julian, who is the rector of the parish in Houston, to which Father Peter will be attached, and will be exploring the opportunities for a mission in Central Texas, so west of Houston, which coincidentally, for those that watch the show, that's where I live. So pretty crazy, right? Who knew that that's how all of this would go? But I'm very excited about this. Of course, here's Father Peter a few months ago at the Romanian church in San Antonio, St. John Cashin. And here's Bishop Nikolai, who is now officially, I almost want to zoom in on this. Is there a way to, will this allow me to do it? Well, here we go. Yes, everyone can see. This is now Father Peter Hears as bishop. For anybody, all those perpetually asking the question and for years using this to defame Father Peter, or imply that he is not a priest of the Orthodox Church, Bishop Nikolai of the Romanian Church of America is Father Peter Hears as bishop. And here he is smiling with Bishop Grasam of the OCA. So this is truly a beautiful day for Orthodoxy, and everyone should be happy. Even those that don't like Father Peter personally should be happy about this, because this was a canonical anomaly that went on for far too long. So if people want to check this out, they can read this. It's been all over the internet on orthodoxethos.com. You can check out the social media posts about it. Of course, I've got some posts about it here that I'll be sharing on my Twitter account. Jonathan Kelly, $5. What jurisdiction is Father Hears in? Romania. He is in the Romanian jurisdiction. It is all real. Very happy about this, obviously. I've been, for better or for worse, doing my best to help mediate the situation, which, again, no lay people should really even have to be involved in this. As many people have said over the years, the bishops could have solved this at any time, but here we are. And thank goodness Bishop Nikolai finally stepped in and did the right thing. And I have gained a lot of respect for the Romanian diocese in America who I don't have a huge knowledge of. They're not a huge presence. There is a Romanian church in my city that I've been to that I've started to really like. They have a new church, so really amazing stuff. But thank goodness, years at this point of Father Peter suffering in this, in this unfortunate situation with people always, his enemies using this against him while refusing to actually engage the arguments that he presents. It's really great to see this. But we have another $5 from Stephen Sterling. This is actually very white pilling. Thank you for the news. Classic Romanian W. I know I didn't lie. We're bringing the white pills tonight, everybody. So it's really good stuff. But I have right here on my Twitter account, of course, I said amazing glory to God in response to Archpriest Peter Here's ecclesiastical situation restored. Obviously getting a lot of traction. It's been up for 3 hours, so good people engagement. Obviously, good day to be from Central Texas. There's me and Father Peter. And here I posted this in honor of today's wonderful news. I present Father Peter Here's on a donkey on Mount Athos. So here we go, everybody.
Father Peter,
yeah.
How's your ride?
Well, it's a ride. I think we downloaded like wrong Uber app.
That was the donkey ride up right near the actual Mount Athos. We're near at the base of the actual mountain at the end of the peninsula. We're heading up to a hermit skeet where we're going to spend the night. We just slept in tents. And then after that, we went on to Capso Calivia at the very, very far end of Athos and saw where St. Porphyrios lived. And just amazing experience. And this was, of course, in 2024, in the middle of all of this crisis. But notice that Father Peter was still close with the Athonite fathers and his spiritual father and everything. Never, people accused him of all of this nonsense of harboring a schismatic spirit or something when, I think he withstood this persecution with grace and honor. And I think he stored up treasure in heaven for how he handled the situation. So it's really good to see. And again, respect to Bishop Nikolai and the Romanians. And this is a wonderful day, February 10th, 2026. Finally, a situation that, again, the Assembly of Bishops had felt it was necessary to release a statement about this. This was something that, there are very few issues that all Orthodox people in America might be continually aware of due to the, weird ecclesiastical situation and everyone being in different dioceses under different bishops. But this was one of the few things that most people probably were somewhat aware of if they were paying any attention at all to American Orthodox politics. So glory to God. It's wonderful to see this. Just checking the quote tweets. I don't know how to even do that properly on I don't know how to check the quote tweets properly on without like undoing the retweet. No, I don't want to quote tweet. I just want to view the quote tweets. I'm not sure how that's not sure how to do that, but the quote tweets are all great. Everybody is happy. Even people I'm happy to see. I saw like 2 people that did this, but even people that ostensibly disagree with Father Peter or don't like him or something like this, which I can't understand those people, but they were gracious. They were happy that this was resolved. So hopefully I haven't seen anyone getting angry, but I have a feeling that those who are angry won't be broadcasting it and will, as usual, be operating behind the scenes in the shadows for nefarious, evil means, as many are off to do. So keep the situation in your prayers. Obviously, the people of Central Texas are very blessed, one of the fastest growing parts of America and one of the fastest growing Orthodox parts of America. My parish, we've got like 95 catechumens. Other parishes in Austin have 70, 80. I know parishes have over 100. Other parishes in the South, I saw a parish in North Carolina made 82 catechumens of their parish in one day. So they could have over 200, who knows? So the area really needs it. We need more priests. So the idea that certain people would want a canonical priest of the Orthodox Church to be restricted from serving in growing communities and whatnot is very absurd to me, especially certain people that do that all the while bemoaning priest shortages. I'm not naming any names, but this is a real phenomenon that people who are very aware of the demographic priest reality have insisted and tried to work against Father Peter. But alas, orthodoxy has prevailed, and another priest will be serving in the great state of Texas. So thank God. We have $5 here from I'm No Expert 72. Appreciate yours and Dimitri's work. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. Dimitri, of course, we did also be sure to check out episode 150 of World War Now. I'll be sure to shill that too. Obviously, it was right there at the from the outset, but this was a live episode, so don't be discouraged by the lobby. Go to Substack, worldwarnow.co, and check out the latest World War Now analysis. We talk all about the latest negotiations with Iran, and even though there have been some updates, nothing has really changed. It's just been more confirming of what Dimitri and I have been saying for years now on the show, but explicitly February 2026 being effectively 0 hour for war with Iran full mode, the follow-up to the prequel, which was the 12-day war. That's what we discuss in episode 150. And once I move on to the politics section of this episode, we are going to obviously discuss all of that, and that has only been reinforced. Of course, we're obviously also going to play some ethno-guessers, so stay tuned to the end of the stream to check out so we can play some games. But hold up. There we go. All right. So thank you to everybody that super chat. If you want to have any questions answered, be sure to send in a super chat. Share the stream with anyone you think would enjoy it. And obviously, worldwarnow.co is the way to support us. But moving on to those politics that we were discussing, again, such a white pill. This is what I wanted to start the show with. Of course, many fans, some had insisted that I start the show with an analysis of Clavicular's brutal frame mogging by the ASU frat leader. And while that was tempting, I definitely had that queued up. The Father Peter white pill came in and cut through my brain rot like with a knife of sincerity that forced me to bring this white pilling news to people. But pray for Clavicular. The frame moggings have continued. He's going to jail, so watch out. But maybe we'll have to do some frame moggings ourselves. Of some World War Now haters. I'll have to confront some people. People should have seen it in Russia, man. I'm sorry. Like let me go full screen for this. The frame mogging that I gave Haas was just crazy. I mean, the high mog was already insane because I'm like a foot taller than him, just towering over him. And the frame mog, I'm just taking up so much more space than this little munchkin. And he couldn't even look me in the eyes. He was seething. He was scared, terrified that me and my nationalist goons were going to emerge and beat his ass and make him bite the sidewalk. But alas, we had mercy on him in God's country in Russia, right? But we do a little frame mogging here every once in a while. Let's put it that way. But again, thank you. I want to just thank, this channel is a great debt to Father Peter. He's, shared us with his audience. And whenever he comes on, we get a big boost. So hopefully Father Peter will be back on the show soon. He's got some massive new books coming from Uncut Mountain Press, new sermons from Metropolitan Neophytos translated into English for the first time, the life and works and talks of Eldris Galactia of Crete, as well as a whole host of other incredible Orthodox literature. So if you want to support that, go to orthodoxethos.com, go to uncutmountainpress.com and support that, because now Father Peter here is priest of the Romanian Church in America. We're back. That's all I have to say about that anymore. But let's move on to the news. Here we have, not that I don't need to screen share this at all, but coming from Telegram, from Middle Eastern Spectator, a reporter asks Donald Trump, are you now saying that Iran has to give up its ballistic missile program? And President Trump says yes, and they can't have nuclear weapons. And this is before Bibi Netanyahu's visit tomorrow. So tomorrow, Netanyahu has moved his visit up twice now to Wednesday, is meeting with Trump before any kind of second round of negotiations with Iran. Because if you listen to our episode on Friday, we discussed the recent negotiations, which both sides said were good. However, nothing really substantial happened. I guess the Iranians were encouraged that the U.S. was willing to meet with them and exclusively discuss the nuclear file, because they refused to even negotiate. First of all, they refused to negotiate directly at all. They're already doing it through the Omani intermediary. But they also refused to engage anything to do with the proxy file, or most importantly, the ballistic missile file. So they're not discussing ballistic missiles. Iran has zero intention of giving up or even giving up the production of its ballistic missiles. They have no intention of giving up support for their proxies, specifically Ansar Allah, Hezbollah, the Iraqi Shiite militias, and general other Palestinian groups, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, that they might be supporting in their axis of resistance surrounding the Zionist entity that is Israel. But of course, in the midst of all of this, Israel has stepped in. Netanyahu has pushed up his visits. He's making sure that he gets to Trump for an hours-long working visit tomorrow with no press, to convince Trump that a strike must be done on Iran if they don't give up both the nuclear issue, their enriched uranium must be taken out of Iran and reduced to well below 60% enrichment, which it currently is. They also, and then of course, Israel's main thing now is the ballistic missiles, which of course during the 12-day war is what gave them so much trouble, and is the reason they had to surrender and come to the table, and the Iranian regime survived. And despite all Western propaganda, can actually claim a real victory there, considering they were against the U.S. and Israel and other parties involved like the U.K. But they also, of course, have signaled that they will be continuing support for the proxies. Ari Larjani, the main national security advisor, is meeting with a representative of Ansar Allah just, I believe it was today or yesterday. Of course, Kataib Hezbollah, one of the major Iraqi Shia militias, has been swelling in size, recruiting people. And of course, Hezbollah has obviously pledged that they will intervene if the Iranian regime is threatened. So we're watching all of this very closely. China is obviously involved in this very closely because they realize now Venezuela, not only is Venezuela no longer sending any of its energy to China, any of its oil, they're now sending it to Israel. Of course, under Maduro, nothing was going to Israel. They were arch enemies, but now Delcy Rodriguez sending that oil right over to Tel Aviv. So it's funny how those things happen so quickly when these regimes, this new Monroe Doctrine, putting America first. Is it really about America? Well, maybe tangentially, but Israel always comes out on top at the end of the day. But regarding China's assistance, this is from Patricia Marins. I thought this was some prescient analysis on Twitter. Excuse me. It says China intensifies support for Iran and could change the game. After sending a Type 055 destroyer and a Type 052 to the Sea of Oman region to escort the Ocean No. 1 intelligence ship, the Chinese are stepping up intelligence support to Iran. The Ocean No. 1 is likely monitoring all movements of U.S. Navy ships and submarines and passing the information to Iran. But in an increasingly bold move, the Chinese are photographing U.S. bases and making the photos public. And this time they photographed a newly installed THAAD battery and posted the images with location data online. Many people, including me, see this as a sign that the Chinese will not hesitate to provide full support to Iran, which appears to have turned to the Chinese after realizing that Russia's ties with Israel were limiting the desired support. With 2 modern destroyers in the Ocean No. 1 in the region providing data to Iran, there is no chance for a surprise attack, making a zero-casualty strike even more difficult for U.S.-Israel. Today alone, multiple Iranian facilities were hit by explosions, bringing the total to more than 10 successful sabotage operations against the Iranian government in just the last 10 days, including military targets. Yes, I'm raising the hypothesis that the Chinese are giving Iran something similar to what they gave Pakistan in the last conflict with India, even though they deny it. The Chinese support obviously goes beyond radars, which they know were easy targets last June. Talking about the 12-day war. Those flights from China to Iran in the last 2 months, sometimes multiple times a day, didn't have the capacity to carry anti-aircraft batteries, but they certainly had the capacity to carry a lot of integration equipment, including the ground Beidou stations. It seems to me that after Iran migrated almost its entire arsenal to the Beidou and acquired more Chinese radars, they're either already operating or planning to operate something similar to Pakistan's Link 17. If this happens, it would mean the Chinese are directly involved in target acquisition for the Iranians, completely preventing the kind of blackout that occurred last June. That would be a game changer, almost impossible to overcome at this moment. Iran's C4ISR capabilities have received major investment in the last 7 months, and China's release of photos of U.S. bases clearly shows they intend to supply Iran with as much intelligence as possible. That Ocean 1 ship that they're talking about is a comprehensive oceanographic research vessel. Honestly, it looks really cool. Let me pull this up here. This is what the Ocean 1 research vessel that is ostensibly going to be trolling for, making sure the submarines that would launch the Tomahawk missiles or other potential movements in the Persian Gulf and around Iran would not go unnoticed. So it's a crazy looking thing with all that equipment on it. I think is, this is, modern warfare for whatever that's worth. But I do believe that Israel, again, the fact that Trump is already insisting, as was said in the interview, that that Iran will have to give up its ballistic missiles before he even meets with Netanyahu, shows that at the very least, there's no way this doesn't turn into war, because even if the U.S. takes a step back, Netanyahu will at the very least get out of Trump a green light, a guarantee from the American empire to act unilaterally in Iran, to try to take out the Ayatollah, potentially to try to completely take out the regime and foment more protests. And that is the main factor here that I think just isn't locking into place as much as the war hawks and the Israelis really want to. And that is the protest factor. We have Reza Pahlavi and other people within the Iranian regime are trying to, or out within the Iranian opposition, who, hey, we're trying to overthrow the regime, are trying to get more protests going. But look, the regime is strong right now. They're celebrating the 47th anniversary of the revolution, big celebrations in Tehran and elsewhere. But that was just today. It was Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will request from President Trump to give Israel permission for freedom to act militarily in Iran, even after a possible nuclear deal is signed with the U.S. So again, this is why I say that an Iranian, first strike, an Iranian surprise attack on Israel would be completely justified, because between the 12-day war and this open violation and attempt to sabotage negotiations, Israel is an enemy of peace. Israel is it's obviously an enemy of Iran. And as an American citizen who doesn't want to see America dragged into pointless Jewish wars, Israel is very much my enemy. So we're going to be watching all of that closely. But Reza Pahlavi, this was a quote I was looking for here. It says, America must bomb the IRGC and other targets of the Islamic regime. In Iran, there is a genocide in the making. The Iranian people are ready for me to lead them to a new future until democratic elections can be held. So, he wants to be, I guess, a transitionary figure, and I'm assuming he'll also then run to be the president or prime minister or whatever they establish, a republic, some kind of parliamentary democracy system or whatever they establish in the Zog Iran that they envision for the future, with this clown Reza at the top. But there's been some students, some people have been calling for more protests, but the regime has really cracked down. They've arrested a lot of reformists and pro-Westerners. So I don't think anything on the ground is really possible to, I think, foment all of this. And the U.S. is aware of this. In Israel, I think the Jews are getting paranoid about this 80-year curse. We're 77 and a half years into the existence of the state of Israel, and they're getting antsy. They see this Islamic Republic now with some kind of, at least not necessarily support, but their fall is not desired by these other major powers surrounding Israel, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar, even potentially the UAE doesn't necessarily want Iran to fall right now. So this is bad news for Israel. So they're in the business of making war, and they're about to do that as we speak. E-war mapping, $5. Do you think that China will actually help clutch this one for Iran? Seems like they are bumping up aid and intelligence to Iran. W. Father Peter. Who knows, right? I think the Chinese would be foolish to let Iran fall, obviously, but so are the Russians, and the Russians seem not to be willing to give as much assistance as the Iranians desire. And as that commentary from Patricia notably said, that wouldn't be true if Russia wasn't so close with Israel, wasn't so involved with Chabad Lubavitch and World Jewry, because for any other reason, they would see the fall of the Iranian regime as a detrimental strategic loss for Russia in the Eurasian sphere. And then with Israel then wanting to turn its focus towards Erdogan, and undoubtedly Russian political analysts should realize that with Israeli and U.S. pressure and pressure within NATO, Erdogan will undoubtedly be replaced or succeeded by a pro-Westerner. So the entire Russian southern flank, with their population centers is about to be entirely encircled. So maybe the Chinese realize that more than the Russians, but the Russians would be foolish to let the Chinese be forced to clutch this for the Iranians. They need to cooperate, collaborate, and make sure that this massive country of Iran and its regime that is still fundamentally popular by any objective measure of strength and regime strength. Not, they have 80% support. No, they have a solid 40, 50% support of the country that fundamentally do not want any kind of revolution to succeed, especially under Israeli coercion and American Zionist strikes. So that's, I think, what's going on. $5 more from Silversight. Paying my taxes. I'm so happy for Father Peter. I've prayed for the situation for some time. Thank you for all that you and Dimitri do. Thank you. Thank you for all of your support. It's always great to see you in the chat. Of course, many people that I know that are fans of the show have been fans of Father Peter for a very long time. People that go to the monasteries of Elder Ephraim and other places that Father Peter, of course, is a denizen of. So it's really wonderful for so many people in America, especially those who have been touched and impacted by Orthodox ethos and the ministry and all of that, which I certainly, of course, have. And I mean, I would never have been able to meet Metropolitan Jovitos if it wasn't for Father Peter. So there's few people that I owe as much of a debt to than Father Peter here's than on this show. So we are happy, we are joyful, we are white-pilled. But as far as any other news analysis goes, I don't see anything new lately on Telegram. Here we go, though. Actually, let me share the... Unfortunately, the Telegram images won't expand, so it's not worth it. But here from Tab's Alternative Media, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner at Blair House. They discussed regional issues and the talks with Iran in Oman. So, of course, is before the meeting with Trump. He sits down for the pre-meeting where the Jews will get on the same page. Kushner, Witkoff, other chosen, of course. They sat down before going in to meet with the big goy, their Cyrus figure, the big dumb goy Donald, and they're gonna make sure he's on the same page, and they're gonna try to talk about how to psychologically manipulate him to where when the bombs start falling, he gets in his strike them hard to kill them mindset and make sure that he's listening to the most hawkish military advisors who are attempting to direct him towards a more big strike. And the rumors are, of course, that Kushner and Witkoff want peace, but Netanyahu's going to convince them for war. But we're seeing in a picture here right now, they're clinking glasses, shaking hands. They know exactly the plan. It's probably a plan that's been in the work for decades, and they know they're excited that it's about to play out. But the white pill in this regard is that God, of course, will have the last word. And these Jews, maybe their plans have been working for the past 100 years exactly as they think it would. But that's not how the story ends. They didn't think that Jesus would walk out of that tomb, and I don't think they're going to realize that what Russia is going to do in Turkey. I don't think they realize what John Batatsis will do when he returns, and I don't think they're going to realize what World War III will really lead to. It will not lead to, I think, exactly the desired outcome that they want to, and in many ways, a lot of their plans, like digital ID and others, will be completely disrupted by this Third World War. So there's a white pill for you. But someone asked in the chat, what was the Father Peter situation? Father Peter has been canonically received into the Moldovan church in America. So not the Moldovan church, the Romanian church in America. Sorry, I've been going on shows talking about Moldova. You know, I'll show that here on the stream here. But he has been received in the Romanian church under Bishop Nikolai. Will be pursuing missionary activity in Central Texas, home of World War Now. So Central Texas, now home of World War Now, Orthodox Ethos, and several other based in wonderful publications. So move to Central Texas. That's the message here. But yeah, that's the Father Peter lore. But that does remind me, I will be watching. People haven't watched my clip, my appearance on Russia Today, talking about the persecution of the Moldovan church. You know, there I was praising the Romanian church. This is a criticism I have of them. So this is the duality of man here on World War Now. I'm not going to really get too much commentary. My clip will speak for itself. But I did go on Russia Today with Rachel Rubel, which I don't know if that's her real name, but I think it's pretty funny that she hosts a Russian news show and is named Rachel Rubel. But here we go. We'll be sharing this tab, and there's the thumbnail. Here we go. Law used as a weapon in Moldova. People are talking about gold and whatnot. Any more super chats, be sure to send one in. But this was my appearance on Russia Today, prime time in Moscow, about the persecution of the canonical church in Moldova by the government, unfortunately with the support, and the government thus supporting the Bessarabian Metropolia.
First of all, I'd just like to hear your reaction to the government's actions against the Moldovan Orthodox Church in Dernau.
It's unfortunate to say the least, but I hate to say that it's not surprising because the Moldovan government has been regrettably following the path of Ukraine, where Ukraine, even before, of course, the special military operation began in 2022, was persecuting the canonical church there on behalf of the government, collaborating with the schismatic fake OCU, Orthodox Church in Ukraine, as it is called. The same thing is now happening in Moldova, who also has aspirations to join the European Union, and part of that means to completely de-Russify themselves in all ways, even if that includes persecuting, Moldovan citizens and good Christian people. And many Moldovans speak Russian, so once again, those few parishes, and it is not the majority of parishes of the canonical Moldovan church that offer services in Russian and Slavonic, they are being persecuted just for, much like we heard in Ukraine, for using the Russian and Slavonic languages. And I myself visited the village of Granati, just in the north part of Moldova, north of Derdăneu, and they've had a similar situation where their priest was bribed by the Bessarabian metropolis, whereas the parishioners wanted to stay with the canonical church. And as the parishioners the church sent them a new priest, and they were trying to do services, the old priest stole the church bells, locked the church, cut the power off, and has been squatting in the rectory, living there, preventing the new priest from living there with his family. So unfortunately, this is a continued pattern from the Moldovan government of supporting the actions, and it's regrettable that the Romanian Orthodox Church, who is in communion with the Russian Orthodox Church to this day, is supporting these actions by the Bessarabian Metropolia and the Moldovan government.
Yeah, so Conrad, I wanted to ask you more about the report you did on religious persecution in the Moldovan community of Granazi in September. You said you were there personally. Several people I know face charges for defending their church. From your conversations, how do you think locals perceive the state's judicial actions?
It seems like really a classic case of lawfare, and those, I mean, people even in the United States have experienced this from when Biden was president, and during other eras of persecution, of course. But I think again, the majority of the people in these villages, as was shown in the report from Deoneu, they were the ones who've built and sustained these parishes over the years. These are the people who actually care about Orthodox Christianity, and the canons of the church say you can't just abandon your canonical bishop and go along with some new thing set up because the government supports it. And these are pious people. These are grandmothers, parents, children that want to worship in the way that their ancestors did, and not, as you mentioned, these LGBT parades. The government supports these things. So why would the government-supported church not be more lenient on these moral issues that these pious people really care about? Again, and when I was there, I met with the priest, who was a humble man. But the unfortunate reality is with the support from the Romanian government, the Moldovan government, the priests of the schismatic body are able to be offered more money and higher salaries than, again, the much more humble priests who are desiring to stay with the canonical Moldovan church. So many priests, they unfortunately fold to this temptation to betray their flock, betray the church, and ultimately become pawns for what is in reality just aspirations to join the EU.
So the former president, who's now the opposition leader, Igor Dodon, has condemned the authorities' plan to take over the church in Dereneu. Why would the nation's government want to pressure the country's largest religious body, the Moldovan Orthodox Church?
Well, just like we see in Ukraine, who the authorities refuse to even call the canonical church there. It's by its name, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. They refuse to call, people in Moldova that are radically in favor of the West and the EU and the war, even in Ukraine, against the Russian-speaking people there. They view the canonical church there as some kind of Russian body. They don't understand that the Moldovan Orthodox Church is autonomous. They don't understand that they have their own synod. They don't understand that their bishops don't somehow take orders from Moscow or some other ridiculous nonsense like this. But they view it that way, and it shows that what they claim is some kind of liberal attempt at freeing people from oppression is in reality it's anti-Christian, it's anti-Russian, and it is very much anti-Moldovan, considering the majority of people in Moldova speak and understand Russian, and the majority of people, Orthodox people in Moldova, of which Moldova is the highest percent Christian country in Europe, the majority of them support the canonical church and remaining a part of it. And that is an obstacle to the corrupt politicians in Moldova's aspirations to join the EU, undoubtedly to enrich themselves and to regrettably pollute, I think, the moral character of the Christian nation of Moldova.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Geopolitical analyst.
Geopolitical analyst and host of the World War Now podcast, Conrad Franz. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. It was a good time. It feels cool going on the fancy news programs with the graphics and the chyrons and all those things. But looks like it's about time for some ethno guesser. Haven't seen any more super chats. So if you have any questions, we're going to be on here for at least another 20, 30 minutes or so. So don't go away. Be sure to send in any questions you would like to ask. Glad to see everybody. Hey, we got GSP in chat. So we got some wrenches. I got to figure out how to make some more mods probably. But thankfully, chat has been behaving itself. But thank you, GSP. Hope to have you on the show soon. But with all of that, you all know what time it is. It's time for Ethno Guesser. Bada bing. And of course, I'll answer all super chats while we're playing. But we also want people to be active in the chat, helping me with these guesses, because some of these are tough. But 3, 2, 1, and away we go into the GeoGuessr of racism. All right, and we're starting off right out the bat with something tough. This is Central Asia. I mean, this woman is looking like very subcontinental or something, or even Chinese at a certain level, and then this guy. And they all got the almond-looking eyes. But what is everybody thinking here? I need to see some guesses, because this could be all over the place. Tajiks, that's definitely up there. Pakistan. I don't know. I don't know if they look quite Punjabi or Pashtuni enough to be Pakistani. Tajik sounds doable though. And hold on, let me see if I can make any new mods. But Tajiks is sounding pretty legit here. Add as moderator. All right, we got one new moderator, two new moderators, Ebor Mapping and Jonathan Kelly. Welcome to the team. But we're locking in Tajikistan because that seems to be what everybody is interested in. You know, we can hedge here by going kind of in the middle of it all. All right, Central Pomerids. You know, a little bit of Pakistan. So Silver Site, it would have worked. But yeah, these were just some real Central Asian moments. All right, so we got 3639, well above 2,500. So decent enough. We got to keep them all above 2,500 because we've had some great rounds recently. But these are the most typical Pomerid variety, also called the mountain Pomerid, often considered the most typical Turanid, most commonly in highland Tajiks, who not only live in Tajikistan, but also northern Afghanistan and eastern Uzbekistan. Shows intermediate features with the Plains Pomerid and East Pomerid. It was originally more widespread and has been pushed back by the Tungid expansion, sometimes in Uzbeks, Uyghurs, and other Turkic people. So, real Turkic moment. Next round. Oh boy. These people are looking retarded. I'm sorry, but they both look retarded, but I'm going to need more assistance here. And the noses are looking wacky. Syria. I could see Syria, Albania. I don't know. Maybe. Steven, I normally wouldn't think so, but there's a weird North African group. What are people thinking here? We've got Syria and Albania. Kurd. Okay. Sardinia. I don't know about that. I don't know if I don't like I don't know if I hate Italians that much. Turkish. I don't know if they look like the ones in Turkey that I've seen. I'm almost like, for some reason I almost think like North Africa or something. Like if you're saying Sardinia, there's no way that I wouldn't be able to get the same thing if I put like northern Tunisia or something, right? Jordan, I don't know. These are Arabs. I guess it's all Arabs, but is no one else feeling North Africa? Because I feel like North Africa. Like I get if people are saying Sardinia, like it's going to be North Africa. Oh, is this the? I don't think this is the Basque. We got to remember the Basque for that to not bugger us up the butt, which is done every time. Yeah, okay. We got some North Africa consensus. We'll go right here. All right. Dang it. Why did I go south? Dang, Sardinia. Okay. I don't know if all of Sardinia, but part of Sardinia. So, yeah, I guess southern Italy would have worked. I guess some of Turkey would have worked. These are Paleo-Sardinian. All right, okay. You can't have people playing along and then spoiling it. Just gotta beware. People could do that. I'm sure people have caught on that you could just play the daily round and then like come in and spoil it for everyone. Don't do that. This is a learning game. We want to actually grow our racist vocabulary. We don't want it to be spoon fed to us. But all right, we're still well above 2,500 average, doing okay. Not sure why I went south like that, but I thought it might just cover. I thought it might be more in the red, but it was the opposite. Oh, okay. I mean, this is like almost like pygmy level we're talking here. Someone says $2. Well. Thank you, Stephen. We love it. What are these? These people have very round heads and are very dark. I'm wondering if they are 4 feet tall. I think that's the That's the question here that unfortunately this does not tell us. Obviously, I'm really thinking Africa here. I guess there's a small chance it could be somewhere in the South Pacific, but Stephen, $5. I promise I'm not doing it along. I just know this phenotype by heart. All right. Well, if you got this next one fully correct in an exact way, I'd be suspicious, but I can believe you're locked in on the med zone. But I feel like this has got to be like pygmy, and so I guess at that point, do I just got to lock in on like Botswana, South Africa, like around here? Maybe like up here, just like generally in Southern Africa. Nambia. If you mean Nambia, are you talking about where Namibia and in between Namibia and where Namibia and Zambia border each other? Because maybe that'll be a good hedge. Where do most pygmies live? I'm kind of forgetting. I mean, I think they're all over like Southern Africa, right? Kowalski, pygmy analysis, please. No pygmy experts in chat? Someone said Midwest, if I recall. Zambia. Okay, so we're hedging in Namibia, Zambia. Boom. Okay. I knew this was on some nonsense. So these are like North Sentinelese people or something. Isolated type, typical the little Andamanese people. Onga, Jarawa, yeah. Okay, so these are like North Sentinelese. There's like 800 of these people that exist, probably. So one of the last Stone Age tribes without contact with the modern world. Bluish brown, black skin. Yeah. Okay, so womp womp. Big zero. I knew it was going to be some nonsense. Next round can only go up from there. Okay. This is the Basque thing, right? No. Oh my gosh. It's either the Basque or it's like this, or it's like these people are pretty like. What is it? Chat has to help me. Who the real weekly viewers have to help me. Are these Basques or are these are not Balkans? You're wrong. I know it's they're either bad. No. People are saying their eyes are too blue. The blue-eyed people there's blue-eyed people in Afghanistan. Like it's either it's I'm pretty sure these are I'm pretty sure this is the one where I was supposed to guess this. Remember the clip? Who's got the clip? Where I was supposed to guess this and I guessed over here. And I'd said I wanted this. I'm like, if I guess this and it's this, I'm gonna crash out. And then I crashed out. That's I'm right. I have to be right. It's like right up here or something. Is it here or here? What part of I can't remember what part of Afghanistan do I need to click? Because it wasn't all Afghanistan. It was like mostly elsewhere. It's like here or something. Well, because I want to get a 5K. I want to get 5,000. So where in Afghanistan do I plonk it? I'm gonna go here. If nobody or I'm gonna go here. If nobody can inform me otherwise. All right. Indo-Nordic. Boom. I guess I really need you. It's really like in China, I guess. But type of northwestern Himalayan and the Hindu Kush connected to Indid, but altered by old unique elements. Finally, redemption on that one. Says possibly Proto-Nordic that might stem from ancient Aryans, common in Pathan, Nuristani, occasionally Dards, Brokpa of Ladakh, Kashmiri, Pamiri, Tajik, Uyghurs, especially the last pagans of the region, the Kalash. Rosy to light brown skin, blonde but black wavy hair, blah, blah, blah. Hold on. Says, just describe the Indo-Nordic type, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it says anything about language, but I don't know if they speak Farsi or Persian, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they speak a Turkic language or something else, but boom. I knew it was a little. I should have gone a little farther east, but I knew that part of Afghanistan was exactly correct. So that's how we like to do it. Next round. Okay. All right. I don't understand how people can watch this game and not be like there's a lot of variation even between like different people across Europe. And look, there's some look, you can tell between the Nilotes and the Bantu and like the Khoisan, but like there's like 6 different types of Bantu this thing shows me. They all look the dang same. They all look the damn same. So like, where is this? Is this Congo? Is this like Ghana? Is this like Angola? It could be anything. Like it could be here. It could be here. It could be here. It could be here. Probably not. It could be here. It could be here. It could be here. It could be here. Woman looks like there's a little of Indian in there. So what, you're thinking more east? Like maybe over here? Tanzania. I'm kind of liking Tanzania. Zanzibar, Mozambique. Yeah, where is Zanzibar? Is that this? No, it's Comoros. Is this Zanzibar? I forgot where Zanzibar is. But no, this is Zanzibar. Yeah. I think we'll go there. Oof. Chad. These are just Chads. These are Chadians. Shari. What did I even get? It's not a 0. Special type named after the Chari River of Chad, intermediate between Sudanid and Niloted, but with several unique features that have long been stabilized, most common in southern Chad and northern Cameroon. RIP. I guess random South Sudan, yeah, would have worked too. It's always these random African ones. Should really, honestly, you probably just hedge South Sudan, like 90% of Africa, besides the South Africa ones, and you'd pretty much be good. What am I even looking at here? The guy looks like a museum Unga Bunga figure. This one isn't fun. Yeah, why am I looking at the people in Ice Age 1? Islanders, extant. Nah, what is that? Is this like Papua New Guinea? I mean, dude, anything can be in Papua New Guinea. It's the most demographically diverse place in the world, so it's not a bad guess. I'm assuming this is some nonsense in this region. People that are still, spear fishing and chucking things around. But Abo, what kind of Abo? They look pretty light-skinned to be Australian Abos. People are saying Papua. But like, is it islands or is it Papua New Guinea? Is it Indonesian Papua? Maybe Middle East. I don't know, man. That lady doesn't look like she's from the Middle East. Vanuatu. See, that's the kind of stuff I like to hear. Vanuatu. The problem is, I don't know. I'm not good with these islands, man. There's Solomon Islands. That's Bougainville, I believe. No, this is French Caledonia. This is Fiji. Samoa's up there. That's French Polynesia. Where's Vanuatu? Is this Vanuatu? Yeah. Okay. I'll go Vanuatu. That sounds good. I'll go like north. Dang it. It's like every island but Vanuatu in Papua. Mountain Melanesids. Yeah, I should have just gone. Should have said Papua. Good though. Still good. Melanesian mountain variety, relatively ancient with similarities to Paleo-Melanesids. Now you're good, bro. People weren't being confident enough. People needed to say like North Papua. Like, if you want me to guess your thing, you got to be like, he can put it down right here. Like, name a town. Like, gotta lock in. We got to be learning obscure towns and cities and settlements, man. You know, look, if you're going to be like into lore, which, you know, I'm into all sorts of fictional universes. Don't get me wrong, I'm a nerd, but you got to be the most into like real lore, like the Earth lore, like creation lore. Like, that's why we play this game. We're learning about the races of God's creation. You know, as a famous Twitter user once said, it's crazy how tolerant the racism community is. They don't even care what race you are as long as you're being racist. And that's what we do here. All right. If this isn't just some Ethiopian ass motherfuckers, man. Boom. I'm going in freaking Tigrayans, like the most aristocratic Nilotic region. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Egypt. Oh, are people saying these are Cushites, Aksumite? Well, for some motherfuckers got to throw in Egypt, man, and make it all confusing. These look Ethiopian to me. The dude looks Indian. Nah, brother. What are these Ethiopian Jews? Do I have to go Israel? I mean, that would still work for Ethiopia, right? So is anyone convicted about something that isn't Ethiopia? Because I could be wrong. I'm not like saying that this is like obvious to me. It just looks, that's exactly what it looks like. So Ethiopian or Eritrean, that's why I'm hedging in Tigray. The Tigrayan hedge. Let's lock it in, everyone. Let's lock it in. North Ethiopia. Boom. I guess Egypt would have also worked. But Ethiopid subtype that is often regarded as a northern branch of East Ethiopia, common among the Red Sea coast and the Nile Valley from Egypt to Eritrea, deep into the Ethiopian highlands. Shows some morphological affinities with Mediterraneans, played an important role in ancient Egypt. Very cool. Our first 5,000 this round, so raising the average. And yeah, you can see like when you see Yemenis, that's why they look similar to this. You know, it's a very influential Red Sea phenotype. All right. These are Europeans. I think it's like it's something that you get, like it's like in this belt right here. What are people thinking? Like, I could see Denmark, Germany, I could see Netherlands, Belgium. I could even maybe see like Polish-German border. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like here. Something like that. I don't want to get the white people wrong. Ooh, Slovenia. Why does that sound convincing? I do kind of see what you're saying. Is there any possible South Slav or Northern South Slav influence here? The guy on the left, someone's saying the guy looks like me. Well, I mean, my phenotype is mostly like this. So, or like this. I guess more like this. Or this. Someone thinks Western Slav. don't know. Slovenia seemed legit. Right? Slovakia could be legit. Someone still thinks Danish. I could see it, but he looks German. Yeah, I did get German vibes initially. Maybe East German, because East Germans are ultimately just Germanized Slavs. Some people saying Poland, other people are saying definitely not Poland. So, however, I've definitely seen Polish people that look like this. Slovakia. It's probably in Europe. It's still so, the white race is so epic and awesome and diverse that I have to click around and get all these other ones. I mean, I can definitely hedge Slovakia and Poland just right here. That's easy, but I'm missing a finger. All right. Boom. Pre-Slavic. Ancient Central European element associated with pre-Slavic people. Common in Poles and West Ukrainians, especially in Volhynia, Galicia, Podolia, and East Warsaw. Maybe found in Balkans, Czechs, Slovaks, Austrians, German. Okay, so I could have gone randomly in I could have gone in southern Serbia. I could have gone in Tyrol in northern Italy and southern Germany, but right smack dab in the middle. So great work, team. This is why we play the game. Danube, March Valley type, similar and maybe regarded as subvarieties. Very cool. But yeah, it wasn't the smallest grouping. Wasn't the hardest guess. Oh, this is some. These are some Asians. What are we looking at? Where's Alan? Someone says, isn't Franz a German name, not an English name? I am part German, but my dad was adopted in Central Texas by Germans. So he himself, while still definitely being somewhat German, I think more of his German was more Scandinavian and Anglo. And on my mom's side, it's, Scottish, Anglo. So that is that. But yeah, I'm definitely somewhat German. But I don't know if I put it down kind of randomly there. Someone says they look too Asian to be Chinese. That's what I was thinking. These kind of look like Inuits, but not 100% like Inuits. I see Rasputin Archive saying this. But at the end of the day, the Inuits come from around here. So again, it's this belt that could go from here all the way around, like here. Could be. Yakutsk. Yeah, maybe like or something. Hedge in Yakutsk. Japan Inuit. The woman on the right does almost look a little Japanesey. So maybe like here in the bay. Here. Where even is Yakutsk? There's the town. Someone votes Japanese Inuit or Yakutsk. I think we're in the region. Seal bashers for sure. This area is below the permafrost, I think. So I don't know. Maybe I need to go farther north. Like up here. Here. I don't know. People are saying like Kuril Islands, but I don't know about that. Siberian. All right. I was closer down there. The Amur Sakhalin, distinctive Tungid variety, probably split from the neighboring types at the end of the Paleolithic. Not that I believe in that, but yeah. Native to parts of the Sakhalin Amur region, typified by nivs mixed in olches and a rare an aurochs. I don't know what any of that is. And Aleuts, I know them. So these people are kind of Orthodox. Ostensibly Orthodox phenotype. Who would have guessed? Yeah, I should have gone farther south. I cucked. But yes, these are Nivsks and Aleuts and Ulches. Sounds some like Heffalumps and Woozles, Winnie the Pooh type-ish, but everyone remember, lock this phenotype in. You got to be guessing this thing on the Sakhalin Oblast, on the Sakhalin Island, which would be cool to go to. All right, final round. Oh, this is some bull. What kind of Asians are these, man? We need Porfirios. We need Alan Wong in chat to help us with this Asian stuff. Also, feel free, send in any final questions you want me to answer, any things you want me to talk about on the stream before we sign off when the Ethno Guesser wraps up. Been a great stream. But what are these characters? The guy's kind of looking like I got a Jackie Chan vibe going. So are these just like Chinese people or what? Yeah, that's someone says, are they just Chinese? Like that's kind of what I'm going to go with here if I don't get any real input here. Someone says Tibet. Hey, Conrad, ever gotten a Jewish phenotype? I'm not sure if I've ever gotten like Ashkenazi. I think like early on in the game I might have gotten it, but I don't think I've ever gotten, not recently. Someone's saying Tibet. Tibet, the universal layer of Satanism? I don't know. These people look too wholesome, but I guess the looks can be deceiving. Someone says not getting Korean or Japanese or even Indochina. Someone says Southeast Asia. I don't know. I'm not really getting Southeast Asia from the left guy. Tibet. Yeah, these people, if they're from the universal layer of Satanism, that could be interesting. Hmong. Where do Hmong people live? Is it like Vietnam or something? Or somewhere else? Or somewhere in China? I'm going to lock in Tibet in 30 seconds if nobody else gives me any other interesting ideas. So I don't know if I need to wait 30 seconds. Tibet seems good to me. Boom. Okay. Close. These were Khams, robust sinid variety, found in its highest concentration in eastern Tibet, so it was just a little too far west, especially in the Kham region, and nomads and warrior castes could be an older sinid type, or alternatively, just an adaptation to the high altitude. Also in South Tibetans, Qinghai, Gansu, Sichuan, Yunnan, northern Burma, Arunachal Pradesh, and in lower frequencies across many regions of East Asia, including Indochina. So, not bad. Guess, does anyone know? I don't know. What's in here? What subgroup is in here that completely boxes out the Kham or other groups? I'm interested, but not a terrible game. Definitely not as good as other. We from top 14%, whereas the 2 weeks before we had been top 8% last week, and before that with David we had been top 9%. So not great, but still good. Top 15%, we were top 14%. So still in the beating 85+% of the world at this game. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We love the Ethno Guesser stream, everybody. Of course, if you want to support the show, send in any super chats. I'll probably be on for another 3-4 minutes, so don't hesitate to send in any questions you would like me to ask. If you have not already become a World War Now supporter at worldwarnow.co, be sure to do so here. Watch our latest episode with Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson. Watch our latest World War Now live stream talking all about Epstein and, of course, the impending war with Iran. $10 from the Hasbara Dialectic Maintenance Fund. Thank you, Jonathan. Always good to see you pumping it up, expanding the size of the World War Now bunker, making sure the broadcast range is expanded. Of course, everyone can help expand our broadcast range by sharing the stream, sharing the episodes, sharing the Substack. Please send the World War Now Substack YouTube channel, or whatever the platform you think that your friends, family, or loved ones would like to watch on the most. Please send that to them so they can become World War Now patriots as well. But not seeing any more new super chats. Obviously, worldwarnow.co, that is the home base. Check out the Buy Me a Coffee, worldwarnow.com/buy me a coffee. Great way to support us. Obviously, you can find us on X at worldwarnow_. You can follow me on X at Gnomrad. That's GNOMERAD. You can find me here. Follow me. Get me up to 12,000 followers. It's going to be great when I get there. Of course, thank the Lord this evening. Say a prayer. Thank him in, the most pious Orthodox way you can for resolving the situation with Father Peter Hears. We're all very excited about that. And of course, keep the world in your prayers as we unfortunately approach what I believe is going to be noted as a very important node in the Third World War that will lead to global reshuffle and major spiritual development. So keep that in your prayers. Stay repented and prayed up, and keep me in your prayers, obviously. And again, if you can support the show, please do so. But with all of that, I think we have come to an end here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Jonathan Kelly. Thank you, eWar Mapping. Thank you, Silversight. Thank you, Silver Sterling, for the super chats. You guys are really helpful. Always make it a fun stream. Thank you, GSP, and our new mods. So thankfully, I think we should have mods and wrenches in every single chat. But worldwarnow.co, if you haven't already become a supporter, do it now. But with all of that, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one. God bless.